When Cristiano Ronaldo made a shocking comeback to Manchester United in the summer of 2021, not only was it seen as a move that could potentially transform United from one of the best teams in England to potentially a title contender, but it was also seen nostalgically and romantically as a homecoming of sorts. The prodigal son coming back to the place which first nurtured him for greatness. Of course, fast forward 1 year later and the situation is hardly ideal. After all, United missed out on a top 4 finish at the end of the season, and Cristiano has made it clear that he wants to leave. If you told anyone just a year back that this exactly was how things would be ending, most would have probably laughed at you. Yet here we are in a world of contrasting statements and a future of an aging yet performing superstar which has more questions than answers at this point. So how exactly is it that we got here, and what exactly can happen to resolve things in the future? Well, I'm Shane Dias, and today that is exactly what we are going to be looking at in this particular video. Now first, it's important for us to understand how exactly it was that the situation reached here. Just before United's players were set to return to the club for pre-season training, news broke that Ronaldo had apparently told the club that should a suitable bid come in, they should accept it and that he would be keen to leave. The reason for that reportedly was that he was unhappy at the club not being part of the Champions League this year, and the fact that there would also be a wage reduction which is there in the clauses of all of United's players. Now obviously this threw things into quite a bit of disarray, because up until that point all signs had been encouraging. Ronaldo had spoken in public over the fact that he wanted to work with new manager Erik ten Hag, and the new manager Ten Hag had also said that he saw Cristiano as a part of his plans. But as things stand, Ronaldo is not with the squad for pre-season, but the reason given by the club is that he's not there for quote-unquote family reasons. Now obviously this is nothing new, and we've seen such circumstances, such situations prop up just at the time when a player is angling for a move. But Erik ten Hag, after United went out and beat Liverpool 4-0 in their first pre-season, had quite a few interesting things to say, and a lot of them pertain to Ronaldo. The first thing that he said was that Cristiano Ronaldo, he made it very clear that Ronaldo is not for sale. He said that he is not with us due to personal issues. We are planning with Cristiano Ronaldo for this season. That is it. Now you'd think, of course, that that would be as decisive as the new Dutch manager could get regarding the future of his star forward, but you would be wrong, because he had something else to say as well. He said that I am looking forward to working with him of course being Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano is not for sale. He is in our plans. We want success together. Now, how much success that they can get when they are together at this point remains to be seen, as is the fact that how long that they will be together. Because of course it is worth noting that Ronaldo only signed a 2-year deal with an option for a third when he rejoined the club, and as things stand, it seems very unlikely that he'll even see out the second year of that deal, never mind the 1-year option. But given that Ronaldo actually had a pretty decent time, why is it that most United fans are actually okay with the idea of the Portuguese superstar moving on from the team? First off, it's important to look at Ronaldo and how it is that he performed last season, and a quick look at the numbers shows that, quite frankly, the Portuguese forward is still in great goal scoring form. Remember, he scored 24 goals in all competitions across the 2021-22 season. Not just that, his 18 Premier League goals meant that he sat behind only Mohamed Salah and Heung-min Son in the Golden Boot race. And of course, it's worth noting that Salah and Son ended up winning the Golden Boot on a joint basis. So it's pretty clear that Ronaldo is still delivering on his end of the bargain, and that is of course scoring goals. The problem is that he feels that United have not quite delivered on their end of the bargain. After all, it is worth noting that one of the reasons he joined was to be the end product towards a team that was already near or close to a finished article. But as the 2021-22 season showed, United were nowhere near a finished article, and that second place finish in the 2019-20 season, or the 2020-21 season, I beg your pardon, showed that that was something of an anomaly, and came about more due to the fact that a lot of other teams were struggling that year as well, most notably Liverpool and even Chelsea later on in the year. But The simple fact is that he doesn't want to stick around for another rebuild. He believes that he's in the twilight of his career and that he wants to win trophies here and now. That was one of the key reasons why he decided to come back to United. Obviously, that's not going to happen considering the manager who brought him, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is no longer at the club, and the man who interim managed them through the second half of last season, Ralf Rangnick, is also no longer at the club. So there's going to be a bit of a rebuild. It's bound to be painful, and Ronaldo doesn't really want to be a part of that. He wants success, and he wants it now. The problem, and this is where things get really interesting, is that will other clubs actually choose to sign him? Well, as things stand, that hasn't necessarily been forthcoming a lot, because he has been linked to a few clubs here or there, but the simple fact of the matter is that no one has really actively made moves to sign him. One of the first clubs, shockingly, to be linked with him were Premier League rivals Chelsea. This story came about because one of Chelsea's new owners, Todd Boehly, had reportedly met Ronaldo's agent, Jorge Mendes, in a meeting, and reportedly the sale of Ronaldo was discussed. Nothing materialized from there, but since then Chelsea have been continued to be strongly linked to the Portuguese forward. Another club who were linked were, shockingly, Napoli. I say shockingly because the Serie A was one of those leagues hit hard by the COVID pandemic. A lot of clubs are still rebuilding, and they're looking to be more prudent financially. Signing Ronaldo on the current wages that he's on does not make for prudent financial behavior. And one of the most shocking clubs, or not so shocking clubs depending on your view, who were linked to him were Paris Saint-Germain. Yes, the same club where Messi was playing, which meant that a lot of people went into overdrive thinking finally we get to see Ronaldo and Messi play for the same team. Hold your horses in that regard, because PSG have reportedly rejected a move for Ronaldo. Of course, it doesn't make sense to them because they have so many superstar forwards anyway, but I'm pretty sure the wages would also have been a bit of a stumbling block, because whilst PSG do have a lot of money in their coffers, the fact of the matter is they can't possibly be spending too much more without being seriously in breach of financial fair play regulations. So leaving that, or considering all of this, where exactly do things go from here, and what would be the next best option if it came to Ronaldo's future? Quite simply put, there's not a lot when it comes for options when it comes to Cristiano Ronaldo, and the main reason for that, aside from the obvious financial burden that any club would be overtaking at this point, remember, they'd have to pay United a transfer fee, and they would have to at least match, if not outdo, the ridiculous wages that he is on at this point. But there's also footballing logic when it comes into the play, when it comes to signing Ronaldo. The main reason that Ronaldo in recent years, particularly in the latter stages of his Real Madrid career and even at Juventus, did so well when it came to the scoring output was that, simply put, everything was built around him and to maximize his strengths and in many ways hide his weaknesses. The problem is that he's no longer quite as prolific as he once was, say maybe even 5-6 years back. That's not to say that his numbers have rapidly shot down, but the simple fact of the matter is that at this point he's nothing more than a goal scorer or a goal poacher, and that modern football works a lot differently. You expect your forward players to be pressing hard, you expect your forwards to be putting in the work when it comes to tracking back or dropping deep into midfield. Ronaldo at this point, even when he does drop into midfield, his link-up play can be questionable, and his dribbling skills, which he was once renowned for, have kind of deserted him because, well, father time quite frankly waits for no one, even someone as fit as Cristiano Ronaldo. So what exactly would be the best option for him, all things considered? Well, it might seem weird, but the best option for him would actually be to stick it out at United for another year and then wait to see if to explore the free transfer market or the free agent market to see if any club would be interested in taking him up, because at that point he would have bargaining power, but one of the financial roadblocks, which would be a transfer fee, would also be removed. So despite the fact that Ronaldo is angling away for a move, it seems unlikely that it will be granted to him unless some club comes in with a crazy financial offer, both in terms of transfer fee and in terms of meeting his humongous wages. In that sense, the best option for Ronaldo would be to stick it out at United, because as we've seen so far with United and their preseason build, things are looking promising. And of course, I know that preseason is not quite the place to be judging anyone, but it can and will get better under Ten Hag, a manager who knows exactly how it is he wants to play, but who also, perhaps more importantly for Ronaldo, is flexible enough to accommodate players who might not necessarily fit his system of play. And that's it for this particular video. Thank you all so much for joining us. Don't forget that if you enjoy what it is that we do, please do like the video, share it with your friends, leave us a comment, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Last but not the least, tap the bell icon so that you know every single time it is that we are going live or uploading a video for your enjoyment and entertainment. Once again, thank you so much for joining us. I've been Shane Rice and I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye bye for now.